Hello chat, today we are working on a Pomni cosplay. So this is more of like a, not necessarily carbon copy of what she looks like, but kind of just a fun little twist on it that I did. This is less of a tutorial and more of just like how I did it, so yeah. All of the ones that did have patterns that I used will be linked in the description. Okay, let's get this started. So first I got a shirt I like the fit of, then edited it to make it kind of more of a shape I wanted. So I did like half of like a tunic with a point in the end and going up in the middle, and then traced it around and made sure the front and back were like alternating patterns, and I added a yellow strip to each of the bottoms to add like a yellow lining. There's definitely nicer ways you can do this. I used anti-pill fleece for the lining because that's what I have. Most of this is just stuff that I had on hand. I didn't really buy anything. I just used what I had. And like once you add a lining, I'm stitching the front together, then sewing up the sides and making sure they line up properly. Pins and clips are your best friend with this. The more the better. Next I worked on a collar. I kind of just ended up editing I made this one and then I completely redid it later with a different fabric because I didn't like how this one was turning out. After you get your like collar, you just stitch it to the neck. And after we got the tunic, the first part we're doing is the one arm that is long sleeve. Okay, don't mind the slits in the top. Those are not meant to be there. We're just going to do it straight, and then we're going to cut it into 4 pieces and then trace out my blue and red fabric. See right here, I'm not doing that weird curve I accidentally cut out, so don't mind that. I'm just ripping out all these stitches of this fabric because it's just scraps I've had from other stuff. And here's some fabric that I had to stitch together because I was low-key running out of stuff. A lot of this ends up being coming patchwork, but that's fine. So after that, we're just going to be stitching everything together, just all the strips to make one big pattern piece that I have. After you stitch them all together, you'll have like this big long tube thing, and we're going to stitch the top to the tank top part, and then we're going to add ruffles at the bottom to scrunch it up with a yellow band and elastic. I did this elastic multiple different ways throughout the project, so for the first one, I just kind of closed yellow together and just stitched it along the sides and turned it inside out, then just stitched it to the bottom of the wrist where the hand part is on your outfit. After you got that all stitched together, not closing 2 of the sides, you're going to want to measure around your wrist how big you want the elastic to be, and then by the grace of whatever, try to feed that thread through without getting it sloped in, and then just stitch it closed and hope it works out. And after that, I stitched the top part to my shoulder piece. Next, we are working on a puff sleeve. So this is an altered pattern I got. I'll put the name up here and it will be in the description. I don't really know what the heck I did, but I ended up editing it, and this is what the big piece looked like. So I'm going to end up cutting it and adding the pieces. So I ended up marking everything on what to do, and then just did alternating colors for it. And then I stitched them all together. A lot of this Pomni cosplay is honestly just stitching red and blue fabric together to make stripes. I personally did double stitches on almost everything just for like security's sake. And after you stitch all like the main stitches together, you're gonna just stitch like the bottom part where not the armpit is. And then I'm gonna add another band and just double stitch that all around again and feed the elastic through again, and do your best and just stitch this part again to the elbow, and make sure the short part is at the bottom and the long part is at the top to give room for your elbow. Wow, we got the 2 sleeves. Okay, now we're gonna cut out the ball. I'm just doing circles and not balls because I am lazy and I can do what I want. So we're gonna use this Hello Kitty shot glass I got years and years ago. I'm gonna use it to trace a perfect circle because I cannot do a circle properly. So we're gonna do it like that. So I just traced around and hoped for the best, and then just did little straight stitches around to keep the circles on. I'm going to put little bells. I'm going to sew them right here on the side. So here I'm working with bells. Bells are really like sharp, so you kind of got to like pinch the tips for them not to just cut your thread. So now that those are stitched on, here is the completed top. The next part we're going to work on is the pants / shorts. Next, now I'm doing the pumpkin shorts, Pomni shorts, I don't know, the buff paw ones. Now these are labeled, and the pattern is a little altered. I kind of messed with it a bit. I did like one less circle because due to the fabric I was using, I was not lining anything because I don't have time for that. We're not lining stuff. It's fine. So once again, I ended up marking everything like 1, 2, 3, 4 and what's up and down and front and back. And so once again, it's just lots of stitching blue and red, blue and red, blue and red over and over again. And once you stitched all like the tall curves together, you're going to stitch like where your like the bottom thigh part is, not where like the big U shape is. No, that's where your leg goes. Now next we have a big old rectangle, and don't mind the other U shape. The U shape is good. I kind of used it and measured by my legs and just hopes and dreams, chat, just kind of pants. I ended up making it a little longer than this, but you just this, and I cut it out a few times and hoped for the tank vest and just did lots of threading. No, I didn't. This was all hopes and dreams at this point, chat. We were just kind of balling at this point, just hoping for the best. And here's where the part I ended up running out of fabric and started having to stitch stuff together and get into the freaking anti-peel fleece because I had no more stretch fabric. So now we get all of these damn things together, pin them, and just stitch blue, red. I only did 4 stripes on the pants because I'm lazy. So now I got this big old patchwork looking thing, and we're gonna see how it is. We're gonna stitch that bottom part, not where the curve is. So this part, the crotch part, to the ankle. Now you're just doing a big old stitch down there, hoping for the best. Now the fun part, try stitching the 2 pants together, like where the crotches and the front and back, and just hope for the best. There's probably way better tutorials out there, so I kind of just freedom try, I don't know. Now that we got these big old pants and shorts, we're gonna add elastic to all 3 ends, the waist, the hip, and the ankle. And you just do that and add multiple ways to add the elastic. The best way I did it ended up being just not threading it through and just sewing it towards the inside of the pants. It looked the best and it ended up the best, but I only did that on one part because I'm so smart. And here is a way to make a leg warmer. You just kind of do a shape like this and measure the top of your thigh with elastic, and we're going to stitch the top of that. You can make it bigger, flare at the bottom, probably make it funner. So here's the elastic that I measured to my calf, and we're going to stitch it on top of the calf, and then you get that. This is the first draft. Yay, look at that.
It definitely looks handmade, but that's the point. Also, these are iconic.
After finding my new love for leg warmers, I go onto the dreaded hat. I used a pattern. I messed up. I ended up doing stuff backwards, and I had to redo stuff. So I'm gonna link the video that I followed and ended up messing up anyway. I believe you guys could do it because I'm a forehead and do not know what the heck I was doing. I meant to do it back. It was supposed to be red and yellow, and I ended up cutting everything on the one side. I don't know. The hat pattern is really good. I'm just dumb. Oh no! So after you cut them right, there should be like darts where you can connect the stitches so they look right when you turn it. And you just kind of go back and forth with the red and blue and red and blue, and make sure you sew together where the darts are and hope for the best. I messed mine up a bit, but that's fine. It's fine. I tried, and I believe you guys can do it better. So after stitching the 2 cones together, I added a big band to the bottom and just kind of hoped for the best. Did I even add elastic? No, I didn't. I ended up I stuffed it, and I tried to wear it, and oh my god, I was gonna get a headache, so I ended up just wearing it like a freaking nightcap, and I don't care. It looks way better in real life. So that's fine. It's fine. Chat, here's how this monster looked initially. It was just full of a ton of scraps. Stuffing probably would have been better, but no. I'm not wasting stuffing on this hat. So that's just how the hat looks initially, and then I skinned it again. And I'm going to add big bells. I found some old Christmas bells, and I love them. So those are getting stitched to the bottom. Same problem with the tiny bells. You got to make sure to kind of crimp the ends so it doesn't rip the thread. And lastly, chat, I'm doing some fingerless gloves. And make sure to go extra outside your hands. I ended up making one that was way too small, and I can't wear it more than like a couple of minutes without my hand turning purple. So make sure the stretch is going sideways and you leave extra room for your hands. Yup. And after that, I just stitched it. This blue one is busted, so we don't really mind it. It's fine. It's fine. And after 4 days of sewing, it is completed. I ended up taking like a month break before I freaking did the hat, but here is the outfit. Wow, Pomni Cosplay go crazy, chat. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching me make this. This is like my first time fully making kind of clothes from scratch. I've like upcycled plenty of things, but I haven't like made pieces full on like this. So I hope you like it. It's a little different, not necessarily Pomni, but more of like I kind of did a more play on like other Jester designs, and I don't know, chat, I don't know how the hell to pose. I just kind of started doing random ass crap, but it's fine. It's fine. But this leg warmer is from Giggling Creations. And I love their stuff so much. You should check them out. I don't know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And guys, if you're interested in any stuff, I have a shop linked in the description. And I have a new Google form if you're interested in like some of your queer stories being read in future YouTube videos. What am I doing? Okay, Pomni episode 5, calm down. Only Pomni pose I know, please. And to finish you off, to say goodbye, chat, we're doing the Peter Griffin. And I hope you all have a good day. Bye-bye.